On March 31, 1986, a routine flight from Mexico City to Los Angeles became Mexico's deadliest aviation disaster. Mexicana Flight 940, a Boeing 727, vanished from radar minutes after takeoff. What caused the fiery explosion that tore the plane apart mid-air? How could a single spark, hidden deep in the wheel well, bring down a jet carrying 167 souls? This is the untold breakdown of Flight 940, a tragedy born from overlooked maintenance, chemical reactions, and a fatal chain of events. Flight 940 was originally planned to embark on a routine journey, departing from Mexico City en route to Los Angeles, with brief stopovers in the picturesque cities of Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan. On board the aircraft were 159 passengers and 8 crew members, a diverse group comprising families on vacation, foreign tourists eager to explore new lands, and among them were 22 bright-eyed children full of excitement for the journey ahead. The aircraft in question was a Boeing 727-264, registered as XAMEM. Despite being relatively new, having been constructed just 2 years prior in 1981, it had undergone regular maintenance checks designed to ensure its operational integrity. The engines hummed with power and efficiency, seemingly ready for the flight. However, beneath this veneer of reliability lay an unseen peril that threatened all expectations of safety. This silent hazard lurked menacingly beneath the fuselage like a dormant predator waiting for its moment to strike, a testament to how even well-maintained machinery can harbor hidden dangers that elude routine inspections. At precisely 8:50 a.m., the aircraft made its way onto runway 05L, with Captain Carlos Guadarrama and First Officer Philip Piaget at the controls. It was then that they detected a peculiar sensation. The plane seemed unusually sluggish, as if burdened by an unexpected weight. This unsettling feeling should have been a clear red flag, yet neither pilot was aware of the brewing catastrophe beneath their feet. The left main landing gear brake assembly was dragging, a mechanical malfunction generating excessive friction and heat within the system. This mounting pressure was exacerbated by a critical oversight. Instead of nitrogen, which is stable under fluctuating temperatures and pressures, the tire had been mistakenly filled with compressed air. Such an error highlighted glaring inadequacies in maintenance protocols and quality control measures. As the plane ascended to an altitude of 31,000 feet, a catastrophic failure occurred due to an overheated brake. This mechanical flaw led to the explosive destruction of tire number 1. The force of the blast was so powerful that it ruptured critical fuel and hydraulic lines, severing essential electrical cables in the process. This chain reaction did not stop there. It precipitated a dangerous cabin decompression that threatened the safety of everyone on board. The situation worsened as a spark ignited the leaking fuel, setting off a ferocious fire in the rear fuselage. The flames rapidly consumed this section, severely compromising and weakening the aircraft's structural integrity. In mere moments, as if torn by invisible hands, the tail section detached completely from the rest of the plane. With its stabilizing component lost and systems failing amidst chaos and smoke, control over the aircraft became impossible, a grim scenario spiraling towards inevitable disaster. The crew, in a desperate bid to avert disaster, declared an emergency. However, by that time, the intense fire had already severely compromised the aircraft's flight controls, rendering their efforts tragically futile. Observers on the ground reported witnessing the aircraft's distressing descent, its path erratic and uncontrollable as it spiraled downward. It ultimately crashed into El Carbon Mountain in the rugged terrain of the Sierra Madre Occidental Range at a daunting elevation of 9,000 feet. The aftermath was catastrophic. There were no survivors left to recount those final moments. This tragic event marks a grim milestone in aviation history, as not only the deadliest aviation accident on Mexican soil, but also as the most catastrophic incident involving a Boeing 727 aircraft. Despite advances in technology and safety protocols since then, this disaster remains a stark reminder of vulnerabilities inherent in air travel and underscores ongoing challenges in ensuring passenger safety against unforeseen mechanical failures or emergencies. In response to the catastrophic incident, the Mexican government, in collaboration with the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, initiated a comprehensive and detailed investigation to uncover the underlying causes. The findings revealed a deeply concerning chain reaction that began with something as seemingly mundane as faulty brake servicing. This negligence involved using air rather than nitrogen in the braking system, an error that proved disastrous when exposed to high temperatures and pressure conditions. The inadequate servicing led to a chemical explosion, a calamity waiting to happen. This explosion was not just an isolated event, it set off a cascade of failures within the aircraft's mechanisms. It fractured the wheel hub, which in turn caused damage to critical fuel lines. These ruptured lines became conduits for igniting a fire that rapidly consumed and obliterated the rear structure of the plane. Such an outcome highlights serious flaws not only in technical operations, but also in oversight and safety protocols. The tragedy was entirely preventable, had there been strict adherence to proper maintenance standards and thorough safety checks. A stark reminder of how small oversights can lead to monumental disasters. It serves as yet another example of systemic failures within aviation safety management that cost lives unnecessarily, raising urgent questions about accountability and reform within industry practices. Tragically, the disaster's toll included 8 French nationals from a single family, 6 Americans, 4 Swedes, and 2 Canadians. The Swedish embassy confirmed the heartbreaking news that one of its staff members and her children were on board. Among the victims were toddlers, the youngest and most innocent lives lost in this catastrophe. Captain Guadarrama, with over 6,000 flight hours under his belt, was no stranger to challenging situations in the air. First Officer Piaget brought nearly 1,800 hours of flight experience to his role. Despite their considerable expertise and seasoned backgrounds in aviation, they found themselves utterly helpless against an unforeseen mechanical failure that rendered their skills ineffective. This raises critical questions about safety standards and mechanical reliability that demand urgent attention to prevent such tragedies in the future. The catastrophic incident of Flight 940 served as a pivotal moment that fundamentally altered aviation safety protocols in Mexico. This tragic event starkly reminded airlines of the dire consequences that can arise from neglecting essential maintenance practices, such as ensuring proper tire inflation and rigorous brake maintenance. Additionally, it underscored the necessity for reliable fire suppression systems to prevent disasters. Beyond national implications, the disaster emphasized a broader, more global lesson in aviation safety. It highlighted an urgent need for international cooperation when it comes to crash investigations. The complexities of air travel demand a unified approach to safety standards and investigative processes that transcend borders. Furthermore, the tragedy illuminated the invaluable role black box data plays in piecing together the sequence of events leading up to such incidents. This information is crucial for reconstructing not only the technical failures but also understanding human and procedural errors during those final moments, thereby informing future preventative measures on a worldwide scale. One spark, one overlooked detail. That's all it took to destroy Flight 940. This was the untold disaster breakdown. If you found this story compelling, subscribe for more tragic aviation breakdowns. We honor the victims by learning from the past and preventing future disasters.